Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and it's match day 8 already in La Liga. They are going very fast, far ahead of everybody in Europe. Match day 7 finished last night, and again today they are starting match day 8, and they are going, as I said, really fast. And it is time to make predictions for match day 8. There has not been a review for match day 7, but as I said, they just finished last night, and it's match day 8 again today. And I've been really sick as well, so I've not been able to do review for any of the leagues this week. But hopefully I will be able to do the reviews for this weekend after the games finish. So without me blabbering more, let's get to the predictions. As I always, 3 points if the entire prediction is right, 2 points if the prediction is right, but the score is not right. So let's go ahead and start. The first game is Valladolid versus Mallorca. It's 5th versus 17th. 17th versus 5th. Valladolid, they have not really had a good season till now. A lot of people expected that, including me. They have just won once in the league. They lost to Sevilla 2-1 on match day 7, and the way they are playing, I don't think they are gonna have a good season. I expected a bad season from them, and it is happening. They are not really able to get into the games, and they are not able to really score those goals, and I think they are gonna have problems this season moving forward as well. They are playing a Mallorca side who won last weekend against Real Betis. They are 5th in the league at the moment. They did not play in midweek, so they are going to be relatively fresh. They are going away at Valladolid, so that could be a bit of the thing that it could be a little bit tricky for them. But I think they would just have enough in them to go ahead and get that win against Valladolid. And unfortunately, I think Valladolid's bad run is gonna continue. I think they're gonna suffer another defeat. I'm going for another close game. It was a close game against Sevilla as well, and I think they are gonna suffer another close defeat. I'm going for the same result that happened last week for them, a 2-1 win for the away side. The next game is Getafe versus Alaves. It's 19 versus 8. Getafe are one of the two teams who have not had a win till now this season, and their performances, I would say, they are quite unfortunate, because most of their performance, they should have at least they should have won at least a couple of games in those performances, but they have not been able to get past that hoodoo. It's now almost 7 games, and they are still winless. So now it's looking really bad for them. They played midweek against Barcelona, and that was just a 1-0 win for Barca. They were really good in that game. Getafe as well, they frustrated Barcelona. They created a couple of good chances themselves as well, but they were not able to get anything out of that game. I think Barcelona would be really happy. They would be pleased. I think they know they got a bit lucky in that game, and they got the 3 points, but they know their performances was not on that level, and Getafe really went toe-to-toe with them. They are going to play against an Alaves side who went against Real Madrid. They lost to Real Madrid 3-2, but the same like Getafe, they were really good in that game. Real Madrid, for the first 75 minutes, they were on top, and then they put the brakes on, and Alaves punished them for that. And the next 15 minutes became quite interesting. It became they scored 2 goals, but for the first 75 minutes they were really bad, and they would hope it does not happen the same. I think this could be the game where Getafe finally break their winless hoodoo, and they might finally win the first game of the season. It is gonna be tough for them, I'm not gonna lie, but because the pressure is on them consistently. 7 games without the win, everybody is gonna be talking about that. And with Alaves coming into their home, Alaves have not been really that good. You sort of expect Getafe on the normal day to have a good game with them and might get the win, and I think I'm gonna give it to them. I think this really might be the game where Getafe finally win it, and it is going to be close game. I'm going for a 1-0 win for Getafe. The next game is Rayo Vallecano versus Leganés. It's 9th versus 15th. Now both these teams played out a draw on match day 7. Rayo Vallecano, they played against Girona 0-0. I think that was a really good game by them. Because in my prediction, I thought that Rayo might go ahead and win that game because of how good they have been and how bad Girona have been. And I think Girona would consider sort of them lucky that they did not lose game, because it was quite quite a close game, and Rayo just were not able to convert the chances that they created. They are playing against a Leganes side who played Real Betis, and they drew 1-1 in that game, and that one again was quite a close game. So they both are are gonna come up, and after playing such a close games, and it is gonna we are gonna see how they play this weekend, because playing those close games, especially in the end, making sure you don't concede, it takes a toll on you physically, but it takes a toll on you mentally as well. And so it's going to be interesting how their players react in this game. And I think the way both of those teams played, and I think there are going to be a lot of tiredness amongst the players, I'll be very honest with you, because of how many games they have already played in this season, and the way both teams played the midweek games, it was very tough, and I think that is gonna come into play. I'll be very honest with you, and I think we are gonna see another draw in this game between Rayo and Leganes, and I think it will be a low scoring game. I'm going for a 1-1 draw between Rayo Vallecano and Leganes. Moving on to the next game, it's a Real Sociedad versus Valencia. Now both of these teams have had a terrible start to the season, to be honest, a disastrous start to the season. It's 16th versus 17th. Valencia, they played on midweek, and they drew 0-0 against Osasuna. Sociedad played out a 1-1 draw in the Europa League. So like it has not been really a good start to the season, especially from Sociedad. Like, I don't want to be disrespectful for Valencia, but nobody really expected Sociedad to be here. The way they have played, it has been really bad. It has been abysmal. It has been disastrous. All the negative adjectives that you could add the way that they have played. Like some of the teams I have mentioned in other leagues, in my predictions, and even in this league where I'm gonna mention, like they have been, the performances have been there. They have just not been able to get the results. I say the same thing about Getafe. Like, there have been a couple of games where they should have gone ahead and won the game, but they were not able to get it. But they, at least you saw the performances. From Sociedad, you have not seen anything. Like, it has been so bad, and I just don't understand how a team which was so good last year and has such a good players and has a great manager as well becomes so terrible this season. And the way they are playing, it is really bad. They are playing a Valencia side who are struggling as well. So you might think that this might be the game where Sociedad finally go ahead and get the win, but we have been saying the same thing for the last couple of weeks, that this is the game where Sociedad are gonna come back. This is the game where Sociedad are gonna make a comeback, but it is not happening. And I just don't see it happening this weekend as well. They are going to be tired as well. They play in the Europa League as well, so I just don't see them winning this game. I think there's going to be another draw in this game as well, and I think it is going to be a boring game. I am going for a 0-0 draw between the Real Sociedad versus Valencia. I could be quite wrong, I'll be very honest. Sociedad could come out and they could win the game, but I just don't see it. The way they have played, the way their performances have been, I just don't see it. And Valencia themselves, they have been really poor as well. Both of them, they are 16th and 17th. They are struggling, so I'm going for a 0-0 draw between Real Sociedad and Valencia. The next game is Osasuna versus Barcelona. It's a 7th versus the 1st. Osasuna have had a good start to the season. They are currently at 7th. They are playing okay sort of football. Like they are, to me, they are exceeding expectations at the moment. Nobody really thought of them fighting it out for the European places, but that they have, the way they have played, it is looking really good. And there are some other teams like Sociedad, like Girona, who are not really playing up to their potential, and it has opened up the doors for team like Osasuna to get and try to fight for those European places. They played out a 0-0 draw against Valencia, which I think they would be really angry about and disappointed about, because that was an easy 3 points if you look at the performances of Valencia prior to that game. And I think Osasuna and the fans and the managers and the players themselves, they would be really disappointed that they did not get all 3 points. They were at home as well, so I think they would be quite disappointed in that. They are playing against a Barcelona side who are currently, if I am not wrong, apart from Bayern Munich, I think they are the only team in Europe with a 100% record, and Manchester City, of course. But no, Manchester City, no, Arsenal drew against Manchester City, so we stopped that one. So I think Bayern Munich and Barcelona currently are the two teams with 100% record. They have been really good, Barcelona. I mean, their performances have been top notch. The way they are playing, and even if they are not playing, they are able to get the result. They were not good against Getafe midweek. I think the performance was not there. there. They were back, they were disturbed, they were frustrated, they were not able to play the way they wanted. Getafe really hurt them, and they stopped their passing sequence and all that, but they somehow got they got the goal and they got the win. And that's like the mentality of the champions, and they were under pressure of the fact that Madrid had played a day before and they had won, so they needed to win that to make sure that the gap of that 4 points that they have been able to make it remains that the gap remains intact. This weekend they are playing first before they are playing first, and they are playing before Madrid, so they could win this game, and there could be a 7 points gap by the time Madrid play. So they know that is going to be an added pressure on Real Madrid. They are playing against the Sudan side, who I think have been really good, but I think Barcelona, just the way they have played, I think they are going to win this game. I think it is going to be another close game, but I just think they are going to be able to nick it at the end, like they are going to edge it out easily. I'm going for a 2-1 win for Barcelona. The next game is Celta Vigo versus Girona. It is a 10th versus 12th. Now Celta Vigo have, I've said this over the weeks as well, they have become one of my favorite teams to watch with the way they are playing. All their games are like quite interesting. They have goals in their games. They like to attack, and the way they are playing, it's quite entertaining to watch. Nobody really expected that to happen before the season, but they've started the season really good. They have now lost 4 games that I know, but they are still playing really good. Even their last game against Atletico Madrid, like it was a 1-0 win for Atletico Madrid, but they went toe to toe with them. They were really good in that game as well. That was like the lowest scoring game that Celta have taken part in this season. I guess that tells you how good they have been. And before that, like as I said, it is really fun to watch Celta play. So I think they are going to have a good season. They are playing against a Girona side who have been really bad, to be very honest with you. Like in comparison to Celta, how much good Celta have, they Girona have been worse than that, like 2 times worse than that. It has been really bad. Like everybody expected to have them to have a drop off, but it has been really bad. They have sold a couple of players, they have brought in new players, but they have not really excelled. They have not really performed the way that Girona's fan base or the management would have hoped, and it is looking really bad. They drew again on midweek as well, so they are not really able to get anything from anywhere. They drew against Rayo, and the thing is, I expected them to lose, but they somehow won drew the game. But I don't think that is gonna happen this weekend. I'm gonna back Celta. The way they have played, they have been really good, and the way Girona have played, they have been really bad. I think it is a very common sense, and I'm going for a 3-1 win for Celta Vigo in this game. The next game is Athletic Club versus Sevilla. The next game is Athletic Club versus Sevilla. It is 5th versus 13th. Athletic Club, they had sort of a slow start, but they have moved on. They have got a good 2-3 wins in a row. They are looking really good. They played in Europa League and they look good there as well. They are playing against a Sevilla side who had again a bad start with the season, but they have won twice in the last couple of in the last 3 games. They have won 2 times. They won in midweek as well against Valladolid. It was an important win for them. They are currently at 13th, and I expected them to have another mid-table finish, like last year. Like a lot of people thought they were just going to have come back straight into the top half of the table, but I really did not see that, and their performances have varied. That they might have won against Valladolid, but they were not really that good. It was quite a close game which they won. They are playing against an Athletic Club who are really high on confidence. They are at home as well, and the way they are playing, I just don't see them dropping points, and I don't see the Sevilla really threatening them. I'm going for a comfortable 2-0 win for Athletic Club. The next game is Real Betis versus Espanyol. Now Real Betis are like one of my dark horses to somehow squeeze into that European places, especially after some of the other teams that I expected to before the season to get into the European places. They have not been able to. I expect Real Betis to somehow get into those places, but they have their last couple of the match days, they have not really performed. Even midweek they drew against Las Palmas. Like they would be really disappointed that they did not not get the 3 points out of that game, especially with the way that Las Palmas are playing. I said in my prediction video as well that these are the type of the games that they need to win if they really want to get into Europe, but they were not able to get the points, and I think they would be really disappointed with that. They are playing against Espanyol side who have not had a good start. They lost against Villarreal last on like in midweek, and they are not in a good form as well. So, and now Betis are home. This is again one of those games where you need to win if you really want to get into those European places, and you know I'm gonna back them. I have a soft spot for them, and I think this prediction is more to do with my emotions and my heart than going with my brain. With the way that both of them have performed, I would have gone for a draw, but I just because I want a Betis to get into those European places, I am gonna go for a Betis win. I think it is going to be a close. It could my prediction would have been a 1-1 but I'm gonna give it to Betis. I'm going for a 2-1 Real Betis win. The next game is Villarreal versus Las Palmas. It's 4th versus 20th. Villarreal have been really good. I've been really impressed with them, like the way they have played this season. I've been like as I said, they have in a way exceeded expectations. I expected them to have a good season, but the way they have played, I think they have been really good. They are 4th at the moment. The only team they have lost to is Barcelona, so like you cannot really blame them in that regard, because Barcelona have been really good. They are playing against a Las Palmas side who have been dreadful. They are one of the teams, that only 2 teams who have not won a single game till now. They are 20th in the league at the moment, and like they have not really performed. They drew against a Betis midweek, and Betis, as I said, Betis would be really disappointed that they did not get the 3 points from them. But I don't see Las Palmas, you know, being a problem for Villarreal, and I think Villarreal are gonna win it quite comfortably. I'm going for a 3-0 win for the home side. And of course, we end the weekend with the biggest game till now of La Liga. It is Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid. It is the Madrid derby. It is second versus third, and it is a huge game. Like, it is always a huge game, but now with the context of the league as well, Atletico, they are already like 6 points behind Barca, 2 points behind Real, so they know they need to win this game. It is an important win, and they need to make sure they don't lose the game. That is going to be their main aim, that they don't lose the game. It is going to be at Santiago Bernabeu. Real, they know how important this is. They need to win this game, and they need to make sure that they stay, you know, within touching distance of Barcelona, because if they lose this game, the lead for Barcelona becomes 7 points out, and that's a big lead, you know, to come back from. Even if they defeat Barcelona a couple of times, they are still going to be a point behind if they lose this game, and the lead is 7 points. So Real know how important this game is, and the way the both of these teams are playing, I think it is going to be quite an interesting game. Both of them have quite been underperforming. They have been underwhelmed, especially at I think with the amount of money they spent, the amount of players, the good players they brought in, I thought they were going to be really going for it, but they have not really performed, and I think that is why I'm gonna edge it to Real. They are at home as well. And the way they like, and now the link up play between the front players is starting to look really good, and that is why I think they are going to be able to win this game. I think it is not going to be that close, because Atleti are not really performing, and with Mbappe and Rodrigo and Vini and Bellingham now finally linking up, and now you know, you can just see the way they play, you know, they are on the same wavelength. So I think that is going to be really helpful for Real. I'm going for a 3-1 win for Real Madrid. They win the Madrid derby. They suffer, you know, the suffering for Atletico continues. I think they are going to drop down to out of the top 4 after this game, and Real stay close to Barcelona after this game. And yeah, with that, my predictions for match day 8 for La Liga are finished. Let me know what you guys think of my predictions. How many do you think I've done predicted correctly, and how many of the prediction do you disagree with? Let me know in the comment section below. You guys can play with me as well, and you're gonna see at the end of the weekend how many of your predictions were right and how many of mine were right as well. So that is it. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 300 subscribers before the month of September, and it is looking really hard, like 80 plus subscribers to get. Just 4 days remaining, like 20 plus subscribers, 20 subscribers per day. So it's a big task, but let's hope we are able to achieve it somehow. Until next time,